figured it out, bro. We got the game. We got the city. 4-1, 4-Life, Creative Entertainment. Come cross the
You
bridge,
chillin'
baby.
with the Colmenero Bros podcast show.
You already know, baby.
You chillin' with the Colmenero Bros podcast show.
That's what you like.
Worldwide exposure in 4K Ultra, still moving the culture. South and Texas, La Rora. We cruise through interviews and breaking the forefront with Maestro the Jedi. How can they ignore us? Ever since back in the circle, we wanted the ball. We spitting ball after ball, important to y'all. Bringing healing to the city, ignoring the fall. Plus putting the city on our back, supporting the mob. You chillin' with the Colmenero Bros podcast show.
That's what you like.
You chillin' with the Colmenero Bros podcast show.
That's what you like.
You chillin' with the Colmenero Bros podcast show.
That's what you like.
The Colmenero Bros podcast show.
That's what you like.
Precision camera that showed the love and showed the game and told us like, hey, this what you want to do? Let's do it. That's all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So this is about everybody coming together. You know, this is Black History Month right now, but it's not to exclude any other race. You know, we just want to put light on our people. La raza. I learned that, y'all.
Yeah.
And this is for our people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we do it for. This is the Colmenero Bros podcast show. And we appreciate y'all messing with us. You know what I'm saying? Like functioning with us on a real level. Because like, you might not see that out here. These my brothers, you know what I'm saying? All the way around the board. These my brothers, my brother, you know what I'm saying? Marco, my brother Ram over there. You know what I'm saying? La Rora 512, Colmenero Bros. Let's get it
Yeah,
jumping.
welcome to the show, man.
Let's get
That's
it
what's
jumping.
up.
Let's get it jumping.
Let's kick it off. Let's kick this off. Let's kick this off. And we on, baby. Hey, you with the Colmenero Bros podcast show. And we got a very special month in our lives right now. It's Black History Month, man. And right now, you sitting down with...
Maestro the Jedi.
And I'm La Rora 512. And you kicked in with the Colmenero Bros podcast show.
Man.
We got some serious topics here with what's going on in the world.
And who we also got with us is the Ghetto Schalar back in the building. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. The Ghetto Schalar right here.
Showing the love.
Showing the love.
AKA Denzel Washington.
Yeah, man. I just want to tell y'all, man, I appreciate what y'all doing right now on the podcast show, man. This thing is dope. Hey, man, I get all y'all flowers right now, man. The podcast show, check these boys out. Maestro the Jedi, 512, La Rora 512, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all love, bro.
It's all love, bro. It's all love all the way around the board. You know what I'm saying? These my brothers from another mother before I even was discovered. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. And I ain't even trying to rap. You know what I'm saying? Because this is real rap. This is Black History Month right now. And what we want to do is we want to shine a little light on everything that happened before our time to make everything be able to happen like this. You know, we had a lot of people in the Black and Hispanic race to where they had to do a lot of stuff, a lot of sacrificing, a lot of fighting for their people. You know what I'm saying? Fighting for our people, right? You know what I'm saying? Just to make this opportunity happen. That's why we got to go so hard with the Colmenero Bros right now.
You got to. We're going to touch on topics like arts, food, culture. We got sports. We got inventors, man. We talking about everybody out the norm, man. You might hear, I don't know, somebody like C.S. Bishop. You know, you might hear a lot of different names that you wouldn't even recognize because in school it's taught the basic. I was telling my brother, I said, say, Maestro, you know what I was talking about when I told you that? I said, I only know what I was taught.
Yeah.
And that was back into like just telling the norm of you got MLK, you know, Martin Luther King. Then you got Malcolm X. You got the Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying? Everybody of that nature on that side, you know, Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
But then it just I had to do the rest of my research just to come in and try to be like, hey, you know, how do I find out who did this?
Yeah.
Who did that? Who did the music?
And the reason why it's like that is because the schools and what we were taught, they only want you to know what they want you to know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Just like in the Hispanic culture, if I go in and dive deep, I will learn a lot. If I just sit with you and the family, right, and we talk about stuff, I'm gonna learn, and I'm gonna be like, what? Mm-hmm. So they were really about this life. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's all the way around the board, man. And that's why we have to start shedding light on our people's time. And I'm talking about as a minority. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The Colmenero Bros, we touching down with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The love inside feeds everybody. So what we finna start off right now is a little bit of Black history. If I can run through this real quick. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold your time, but me and the brothers we gonna chime in. We gonna talk about what we like. We gonna give y'all some a little history, a little overview about what this month means, you know, and then we're finna go into the stuff y'all love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
Colmenero Bros. For one, for life.
Creative entertainment, man.
You feel me?
Hey, appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all like and subscribe. You know, we doing big things out here.
All right, I'm gonna give them a rundown. So we got Black history started with slavery, and even before that time, you know.
Okay.
But we're gonna start at slavery, right? And slavery, it was predicted to be started in the 1600s. And it was introduced, and it lasted over 400 years.
400.
In the experience, you know. So these people out here 400 years just slaving, doing what they were taught to do. You know what I'm saying? It was never the choice of the African American culture to leave their motherland, but they also wanted to go, you know, because it was like, hey, I don't want to die over here. Let me go ahead and just see, and if I can make something of nothing, right? They were transported on cargo slave ships to a place called America. America was built on the backs of slaves, Mexican Americans, Asian Americans, everyone, you know, but they were also built on the backs of slaves forced to work at the cheapest source of labor. You know what I'm saying? Cotton was the number one. It was the number one cash crop at that time. They also had tobacco, and they had sugar cane as well.
Okay. You know how many people came up on cotton, bro, itself? And
yeah, talk about
slaves out there, you know, putting the clothes on their back and stuff, and it's like, you know, if that's all, that's like everybody, I think. People picking cotton, that's everybody that wasn't of, you know, color, like, or, you know what I'm saying? Society's norm.
Society's norm, and it's crazy how cotton is still one of the number one like everybody got a t-shirt. You gotta wear some underwear,
right?
I got cotton on right now.
Some polos. You gotta put some socks on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like they took heed at all of that in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It says as more enslaved Africans were imported, the new industry was born, and it was called a slave auction. So after they seen that they could make a whole lot of money, they started putting people up for auction. Like, hey, who can
like a breeder?
Yeah, like a breeder. Like, who can actually pick the most cotton? Who can work in these fields and tend to these fields? Who can actually be in the household and run a household while I'm gone doing whatsoever? Nobody was getting paid. You know what I'm saying? This was just like living for survival. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us right now, we are really privileged to at least even have a job. You know what I'm saying? Slavery ain't over, but it's not what it was.
Not as bad.
Nah, man, the conditions, tough. Like the condition of slavery, I mean, they talking about working from sun up, sun down. You know what I mean? They even got the kids out there, the women out there. I mean, you can only imagine, you know, this is South, you know, the Dixie line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's where they made all their money from. And so when you got that type of industry going on, and then you have basically plantation owners.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not only are they getting to work, but they also seeing the women out there, and they're like, hey, you know, ain't no law against me doing what I want to do with them.
Yeah.
For real.
You know
they
what I'm
can
saying?
do whatever they want to do.
So sexually abused, you know what I'm saying? That's where you get the mulattoes. You know, that's one of the colloquiums back in the day where they called, black and white mixture kids. They call them mulattoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are the type of thing that was going on. Like, you can only imagine if you was a kid, you know what I mean, and you see your slave master come into the house, a little tut, and he like, I want to take your mama. And it was like a one like a 10 by 10, maybe 15 by 15 square foot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? One room. Where they
15
slept,
square feet.
yeah,
Yes.
where they slept and
bro.
where they ate, everything is in that one room. And so if he came in and be like, "Let me take your mama," you a kid, 7. Think
Kids in there crying.
Just think what
like,
you
what
seeing.
you doing, what you going. Yeah, it's a lot of trauma that's being going on. Like our last episode that we talked about was a lot of gentrification and a lot of trauma that was passed on generations after generations.
And see, a lot of people just don't understand either, man. It's like, it's the back-breaking work and all this stuff from getting whipped on your back, lashes, splitting your back open.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like, man, bro, and that wasn't even just, African Americans, Mexican Americans, Asian Americans blowing up in dance, but African Americans, I mean, for 400 years.
400.
Bro, that's like
More than 400.
But that was like an actual doctrine. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
people had actually wrote books about slavery or how to master the art of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you got to put one out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I need him to be the example. You know what I'm saying? So if one get out of line, it got to hit the mental. You know what I'm saying? So you got
Other
to
people.
It's ruling by fear. So if you can fear them into a situation to where it's like, man, I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get out of line.
Yeah.
And so you see that one dude get flagged, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, all day long. Or put them, they had another situation where they had put actual people in like a little camp, like a restroom, you know what I'm saying? Like a
Yeah.
porta potty. It's called, I forget what it's called. It's like a little a shed. And then they had
Like a hut.
like a little hut, right? And it's a firehouse, you know what I'm saying? So they had bars underneath it, grills, you know what I'm saying? So they just light it up and they had that dude sit out there in the hothouse. And so they'll heat it up and it gets about 100, 200. Some of them even cooked to death.
I'm glad
Cooked
you
to
said.
death.
I'm glad you said that, bro, because it says slaves were made to work from sun up to sundown. Some in the fields with their children, others in the house slaving as servants for the needs of the slave owners in many facets. You know what I'm saying? Enslaved women also worked in the fields, in the slave owner's house, and they were sexually abused, like the Ghetto Schalar was just saying. And it says they were even slave owners' children. They even had the slave owners' children. You know what I'm saying? Because a slave owner can come in the house and do whatever he please, right? You know what I'm saying? But in 1793, Eli Whitley came up with a solution to the problem, and he created this mechanical device to where it was called a cotton gin. You know what I'm saying? So the cotton gin was to get out there and actually pull all the seeds out of the cotton, which the slaves were doing. So as being in slavery, people, you got to learn how to adapt to life. You know what I'm saying? You understand your situation that you in, but it's like, hey, man, I can't just be out here breaking my back. I'm finna figure out something to make it a little bit easier for everybody that we got going on. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate Eli Whitley for jumping up with that just to let us know, like, hey, you don't have to be stuck in a situation you in as long as you got some people around you and you can improvise and you can be creative. You know what I'm saying? It gives you an opportunity to make things less painful for you.
What I was thinking though, man, to become a slave, bro, it's like you get taken over or something, and then what do? You want to live to the next day, and you want to try to get away and try to go back to your family, and you separated from your family, man. That's just crazy to me. Like,
Yeah.
becoming a slave and I'd rather die on my feet than live the rest of my life on my knees. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, because it's like, hey, man, you going to go out there and put it down for your family from the jump, just as a man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be on the backs of men before it deemed down to the woman or to the kids of the household.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's like it lines in order, you know what I'm saying, all the way down from the top of the pyramid. You know what I'm saying? It says, as the growth in the cotton industry increased, and the needs of the African enslaved grew, slave owners made it a great effort to prevent the rebellion of the slaves due to the triumph in Haiti. So in Haiti already rebelled. They was like, hey, man, I'm not doing this. You know what I'm saying? And they actually had a rebellion that was successful. But you see, when you have a successful, like, takeover as a people, you got to start from the bottom. And if you can't come up in your economy or in your system, you're never going to be able to survive against these powerhouses like America. You know what I'm saying?
And not
Like,
only
Europe.
that, man, you got to really come in and like link up. You
got
can't just
to.
have people out there. You know how some people be like, "I'll rock with you," you know, but then they still kind of be like, "Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I know I ain't gonna rebel." You know what I'm saying? Some people are scared. Some people might not want to take that chance to try to come in and, you know, do something to help the other people they want to overthrow. It's like an overthrowing of something. You know what I'm saying?
Really
and the
is.
slave masters, you know, the way I'm taking it is like, man, once Haiti was like, hey, but they had to have a whole squad.
Yeah.
You couldn't just have one.
You can't just have
ri-
one.
Bringing or 5 people on your upbringing or, you know, on your rising up trying to overthrow the government like them. You know what I'm saying? You
real.
can't have one like 5 people on your team. You got to have the whole squad.
You gotta have the whole squad.
whole squad.
You gotta have the whole squad, and that was what's good about a lot of other people outside of America, though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of African Americans have been brainwashed off of knowing who you are as a person, number one, and knowing that, hey, it's about our culture overall. We'll rather spend with the adversary, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna call them an adversary because they don't go against us, not everybody, but like, are you really gonna include us in your culture that you built for yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is America. Like, a lot of people over here have been born in American hospitals. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I got a different skin color, just because I might look different from you, doesn't limit me as a citizen of America.
Let me ask you a
Go
question.
ahead, man.
Do people like, okay, let's say people from Africa, do y'all get looked at different from being from the States? You think is that how it works?
It is. It's
sure,
like that.
for sure.
It's like that because they feel like we not in touch with who we really are
The roots, like
as a person. You know what I'm saying?
It's like same here. That's how I feel like that the connection, you know, from the history of our people, you know, ancestors, Latin ancestors, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're really trying to like find your identity, man. And it's like it's like you want to be with somebody else, but it's hard to like really come together, especially like if I go over there, they're gonna look at me different because they're gonna be like, you were pampered in the States. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, Rem. I'm glad you said that because we just gonna go ahead and go to it. But also, I ain't even gonna pass over Nat Turner though. Nat Turner, he was one of the ones that could read. Yeah. You know, back in the Gap, slaves couldn't read. Not this new American English text that they got in the books, right? Yeah. So Nat, he was one of the heads of the rebellion. And he had like a whole clan, about 75 blacks that was like, man, we ain't messing with this, right? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they killed about 60 white people. And in 2 days before the resistance and the militia captured and hung him. You know what I'm saying? But like what it was they were being taught something that they didn't believe in at one time, but they were being brainwashed into this. You know, they call it backbreaking. You know what I'm saying? Like what DeMarco was saying. They'll take one of the strongest men and try to just break him. He'll be doing whatever just to show his strength and everything. But when the family see that, bro, they like, hey, we can't go against the slave master, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You took out the biggest.
Nat Turner was like, hey, bro, y'all reading the Bible to me all backwards and you telling me all of this like we not one of the chosen people as well? You know what I'm saying? And that's why they rebelled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like when you was talking about segregation, because when the people know who they are, they tend to come together. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Colmenero Bros is about.
Because I know, man, that is what it's about because it's coming together. It's like this, sitting down. Imagine if you were ready to riot. And then I was like, you know what? I'm down. Let me go get my peeps. And I'm going to convince them. You know what I'm saying? To bring, because the more that you have from the outside, not only the inside, whether it's Asians that came over and stuff like that, it's like you need those numbers to come and like back you up too.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not only your own people.
You need
know
the people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a mixture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the different races. I mean, in order for them to actually get to any separation from what's going on at the time, they had to get help from other people. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, Nat Turner did all he could to make sure he was able to rebel against and let them know, like, this is wrong. You know what I'm saying? But that didn't really – that was 1831.
Yeah.
So we're not even talking about when they actually get to the point where it becomes legislation. And so
and that's what's coming, and it's coming legislation. But like, okay, so at this time, you know, everybody has a penny in their pocket, right? If you got a penny in your pocket, pull it out right now. You know what I'm saying? I should actually make a song like that. If you got a penny, pull it right.
Got a penny in your pocket.
Yeah.
So Abraham Lincoln is on the penny, right?
Yeah.
If y'all don't know who Abraham Lincoln is he's one of the ones that he was really the first Republican president before Trump.
Right.
He was the first one. You know what I'm saying? And in 1863, he made it official that any enslaved people within any state, any designated part of the state in a rebellion shall then be free. Then forevermore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln. And that came through the Emancipation Proclamation. That's one of our biggest accomplishments.
Hey, you see,
shout out to Abraham Lincoln.
You know that whole thing where it's you have the coins, and then you got Lincoln looking one way to the left, and then all the presidents to the right.
Yeah,
because they say it's because they turned his back on him because he if you line them all up, that they turned their back on Lincoln because that ain't what they wanted.
Yeah,
you know, that's not what they wanted. So if you pay attention to them coins, like you said, pull out the penny. He's looking to the left, and they are
everybody
all the
else
presidents,
looking
George
to the right.
Washington, Jefferson, all them looking to the right.
All of
Wow.
them.
Yeah,
And a lot of those presidents.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and a lot of those presidents before Abraham Lincoln, they were not even like Democrats or Republican. They were like liberals. We
Right.
had a lot of liberals back then that kind of just believed in their own way of thinking, you know. But you know, Abraham Lincoln, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? For the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
Memorial.
saying? Just to
hey,
get-
because that's one of the big things about all this, man. It's like they needed somebody of outside that was with them big dogs in order for them to get that legislation. That's why I be telling my show, hey, we're going to be on the Capitol one day.
Yeah.
We're going to be on the Capitol
Tomorrow.
changing things.
Tomorrow.
Man.
Yeah.
Hey, actually, yes.
Tomorrow.
Governor Abbey, we're going to see you tomorrow, actually. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we just want to change things, talk about the real deal, like what's going on. And this is a topic, man, because a lot of this ain't been taught, and it's not being taught right now in the schools, I don't even think.
Yeah.
Because you only get one, like a couple of people, and it's the same on their own races too, man. It's like Asian.
They just skip through it. They just slide through it
Yeah,
real
it's just
quick.
like a little quick. 2 months Hispanic heritage. This is what we're gonna learn about, and it's back to what we
back to whatever, just American history.
back to
back to
schedule
American.
program.
Back to you know what I'm saying? To your next commercial, you know?
Yeah.
For real, man. But you know what I'm saying? Just moving along though too. You feel me? After Abraham Lincoln, his proclamation for or his emancipation for proclamation, you know, the 13th Amendment was adopted in 1865 to abolish slavery all the way across the board. You know, that was, and it started in the northern states, right? Because that's why we celebrate Juneteenth right now, because Texas was the last ones to even know, like, hey, do y'all know that y'all free? Why y'all still out here
In the great state of Texas, boy, it's a great state out here. We big, and we the last ones to know about it.
Last ones.
How Texas gonna be the last ones, bro? They probably thought, oh, they gonna keep it. They gonna keep it like that. Texas was probably back in the day, just like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We got them all here with Mexicans too. You
Everybody,
know what I'm saying? Asians,
everybody is starting to do their own thing now, right?
Yeah.
But it was some that just didn't know, and they was still out here working. I'm talking about in the great state of Austin.
Still slavery.
We had family members growing up that I remember hearing stories from my uncles and my aunts talking about, we used to pick cotton in Austin, and I was like, where?
Yeah.
Where?
Nah, my grandma would tell me too. They're out on the outskirts, bro. She would be out there picking cotton, and that's one of the things too. Is like my grandma.
Yeah.
She dark, bro. She dark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like one time, she took my grandpa to go get a haircut. She walked in, my grandpa's son to get a haircut, right?
Yeah.
And man, she's sitting there. Nobody cutting her hair. Nobody's cutting his hair. So
they just
my
passing
grandpa,
them up.
Yeah, passing them up. Then my grandpa comes in. You know, he had to do something. I think he went to go make a payment. He comes in. They were like, "Oh, that's your son."
Yeah.
And they didn't even want to, because
They
my
didn't even
grandma
wanna
was
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
They was looking like, nah.
Yeah.
Skin
we ain't
tone.
gonna cut
Skin
this.
tone base.
Yeah, my grandma said too. It's like, you know, her close friends, African Americans, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, also it's like they still had people that would hate, she would say too, you know what I'm saying, that they wouldn't like her because they were kind of a little bit accepted, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like, because that's just how society's norm took it.
Yeah.
They are like, oh, we don't like, you know, that color.
Dark skin.
Dark
It's
skin.
dark skin. It's a skin tone situation, because at the same time, like even within the actual community, you know what I'm saying, within the Latin community, within, you know, different other communities or Indian community as well, you know what I'm saying, where you have different shades, Arabian countries where you have different shades of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Philippines, you know what I'm saying, different shades. Even Koreans, because I think at the same time, like, that's kind of all Asian. But because they see the Philippines a little darker than the Koreans or the Japanese or the Chinese.
Asian, all the cross.
So that's how they separate based on it. I mean, even in Brazil, they do the same thing in Brazil, where if you're light skinned, even Mexico.
That's South America. Yeah, that's South America.
It goes back out there too. You know
Well, South America, where it's like you go to Mexico City, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You look on TV, you will see a lot of more fair color individuals on TV versus the dark color. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, far as in the Mexican, where they have different areas up close to the border, they have more Indian based, more darker skin Mexicans.
It's more of a mixture.
You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, dang, those are considered like a lower class. So it's like, I don't even understand why that is what it is. But
So you
that's
saying
what
like
I don't know.
darker
I
your
don't know
skin
how
is.
it's just accepted to be like, if you have the skin color being white, that you got to run the whole everything and everybody under you. Why wouldn't it vice versa? You know what I'm saying?
Because when we came over here, or when we were brought over here, I ain't gonna say we came. You know, we had some people here already. As we start to learn, you know, we had some indigenous Indians, we had some black people that was already over here. We had some Hispanic people that was already here. That's why it's called Tejas. That's why it's called Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? Because these were already places, but they came and took over from the Atlantic and kept moving. You know, that's why we got a lot of our people who like to watch Westerns, because they seen that the cowboys and the Indians, they used to see that was the thing back then.
And then, you know, my pops too, man, he would be like, when he would watch cowboys and Indians, he always wanted, you know what I'm saying, it was kind of like the Indians were bad, bro. He always wanted to be trying to be.
He wanted to be a cowboy. That's why he like,
because
that's right.
they were always winning, you know what I'm saying?
Always
he said he wanted to be a cowboy.
He wanted to star.
Like, oh, hell,
he said, my son is going to be a Dallas Cowboy.
But it's true, though, man. It really
my
is
whole
true
family Cowboys.
because it's like, if you look at it, those old Western movies, when it comes to that kind of stuff, man, it's like the Indians were like always being killed and always winning. I mean, losing. They were always losing. So obviously, if you were a kid,
But they always put up a fight.
But
that's the narrative that's being taught.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. So then, if you look at it, if you see that they always losing and you a color minority, who you gonna want to
go with the winning team?
Go with the winning team. You know,
every time, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But let's keep moving, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So the 14th Amendment, you know what I'm saying? That was the following year when that one was actually brought to a proposal. And the 14th Amendment was broadened for the definition of citizenship, granting equal protection of all the people under the Constitution that were enslaved. So now it's showing that everybody who wasn't equal, now you are considered an equal citizen. You are totally freed. All of the states are free now. You know what I'm saying? And this was 1866. You know what I'm saying? And then it says after that, the 15th Amendment was adopted, and that was in 1870, guaranteeing that a citizen's right to vote would not be denied on the account of race or color. But it wasn't for gender, because women couldn't vote at that time. So it was only men that were making the only choice for their own households. You're a citizen, but your wife can't vote. Your girlfriend can't vote. Your sneaky link can't vote.
I said, hey, you know who you're gonna vote for, girl. You know. You know who you're gonna vote for, girl. You know that.
Hey, back then it wasn't like that. Yeah. Back then it wasn't like that. It was just, hey, we letting y'all vote, but we only gonna let half of your family vote, right?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
1870.
And we know that this is getting into that legislative stuff that you're talking about,
Yeah.
right?
And then you got to get them people in there too, because you looking at it, you got to kind of be friend, like men and women of color got to be friend those politicians.
That's right.
To be able to get into the politicians.
Crack the door open, and then
and
you
to
see
get
me.
to politics. Then you go into seeing people change the game.
That's right.
And that's how you change it, but you got to befriend them first. Right? Maybe bring some food to the table, like some collard greens.
Hey, we finna get into the collard greens. Collard greens, pinto beans, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know the song.
Yeah, for real.
Y'all know the song. But so it was a lot of people that was hating now. Since you got a vote, you know, you can actually make some changes, right? So it's saying the largest, such as the Ku Klux Klan. I can't even say it right, but KKK sought after the disenfranchised of the black voters by using the voter suppression and intermediately, you know, and trying to come with these violent tactics. Pretty much, they like, they trying to intimidate us. You know what I'm saying? The Jim Crow laws, which was the first segregation laws, was used as the same tactics to assault the black enfranchisements for nearly a century, which is 100 years.
Wow.
For a century.
So that, like, right after that did the 15th Amendment, they went
100 years.
They went ahead, like, I think it was 10 years right after that. So 1880 or something like that. They came up with the Jim Crow laws.
Yeah.
To where it's like, okay,
We finna put
we
a halt
set
to
it up.
this.
We set it up, but then we
I
gonna
don't like how y'all moving now.
now they didn't
You gotta
dim the
tweak
light.
it, like tweaked it.
Yeah, they didn't tweaked it with the Jim Crow law. So that was a tweaked law. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, okay, well, I think we did what we wanted to do, but hey, we still trying to
We
disenfranchise.
still gonna keep you off from being all the way free.
all the way.
Exactly.
You know what
And we still living that life today. We not under the Jim Crow laws, but we still living in that life today. And a lot of our family members who are, like, if you are age, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna put no age out there, but your parents have experienced the Jim Crow laws.
Man, my dad would tell me about some police in Laredo that would whoop him up just because he was dark, you know, or you know what I'm saying, or the skin color. Like some people back in those days too, if you can imagine it, it's like maybe an officer would pick you up, take you to some other place, you know what I'm saying, where you ain't even wanted in that neighborhood or whatever, and just drop you off and let you fend for yourself, man. And you over here like, what the hell am I doing out here?
Right?
Man, you just take anybody.
Take
you know what I'm saying?
anybody.
How you ain't had no cameras?
None.
Yeah.
None. No
Yeah,
cameras. So it's like the word of the government and just you as an individual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's crazy out here because our people are still fighting for our voice. That's why we had to speak on this topic tonight.
Yeah.
Because what we're using is our platform that our forefathers and ancestors, Black, Hispanic, everybody, that they fought for us to have a voice.
Yeah.
To talk to the people. You know, and I really feel this because what are we going to do for our generations coming behind us? We can't just lead our kids into destruction. You know, and I really feel this.
Yeah, speak your mind, Maestro.
I really feel this because if not, who else is going to do it? We're going to depend on the schools.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of the topics be coming out like it's not being taught, man. It's like you only spend, like we said, a little bit of time in your time frame, and you're only giving us the tip of the iceberg. You ain't giving us that deep detail of saying, hey, this is what happened, and then eventually this happened and this happened. Because, I mean, like I said, I had to, from the norm, I had to step outside my own box to understand.
You know what I'm saying? We all had to gain an understanding because it's like if you're not, you just getting programmed. You're getting programmed and fed what they want you to know. And it's more behind the story. You know, the Wizard of Oz, man, they went to see who he was. But when they saw who was behind the curtain, they like, you? What? What?
Whoa.
You been swindling.
You've been duping us.
You've been hoodwinked. Hey, say, man. So, during these times though, with the Jim Crow era, Black Americans became business owners and having better living conditions, participating in political offices and movements. African Americans also had their own doctors, stores, mechanics, pharmacists, etc. You know what I'm saying? But African Americans were required to eat separately, go to separate schools, you know what I'm saying, use separate public toilets, park benches, trains, buses, and water fountains. Whatever you could think of at the time, they were like, hey, we built this for us. If you want this, go get your own. Be with your own people.
What?
You know what I'm saying? You a citizen, but go only mess with your own people. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, black people migrated with other minorities as well.
Hey, and that's crazy, man. But you know it is like that because now you're looking at just because I'm not still of, you know, like, I mean, we're all like, bro, we're all
saying what he's saying. We all God's people, and we all together. You know, that's what it is meant for. It's for us to be together. But at this time, that's why they call it segregation, because it was really a separation of all of the American citizens that they claim from the 15th Amendment. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You a part of the people, but you really not a part of us, though. You know what I'm saying?
Different classism.
Yeah, so go do your own thing with your own people. You know what I'm saying? Was the mentality of the folks around that time. You know what I'm saying? It says, however, the struggle was real, though. And it says, but we still had civil rights activists like Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, and John Lewis, and many others that stood for the equality and justice and the right for all people, not just themselves, for everybody. It's like, hey, if we see some pie out there, why shouldn't everybody get a slice?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why shouldn't everybody get a slice? You know what I'm saying? And that moved us on to the civil rights and the integration, right? Because at this time, instead of us just sticking with our own, as a lot of people say that we should have done, you know what I'm saying? We wanted to be with everyone. You know, we wanted to come into this big old melting pot, which they call America, and we wanted to make it all the way equal where, yeah, I can work with you and I can do this and, you know, equal rights, though. Yeah. So civil rights, you know, throughout the movement, it was plenty of nonviolent protests. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and the 60s broke a pattern of public facets and segregation of race in the South, and achieved the most important breakthrough in equal rights legislation for African Americans. For decades after the Reconstruction Act, the U.S. Congress did not pass a single civil rights act. This inspired African Americans to start Black Power movements, which formed on a radical pride in economic empowerment and self-determination type of status.
Black Panthers.
Exactly, the Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? They had a lot of organizations were formed, and they still running to this day. You know, you had the Revolutionary Black Panther Party, the New African Black Panther Party, Black Pride Riders, the Liberation Party, the Black Hammer Party, etc. You know, y'all go do y'all research.
See, I didn't even know that, man, and that's what I'm saying. That you have to step out and really get that. You got to dive deep into that. And earlier, what I wanted to talk about was, you know, it touches everybody because now you're looking at a different shade, and now you're going into like saying like everyone has felt an effect if you haven't been of color that was accepted. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has had. My grandmother talking about, you know, the colored would walk to school or catch the bus, and if they did, it goes straight to the back.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Straight to the back.
Straight to the back. You can't sit in the front.
Nah, man.
You know
you can't, you know. And
but it's crazy. Like, when I got on the bus back in high school, it was like, hey, you ain't it if you won't sit in the back.
Yeah, but that's different. But that's different because now everyone is there now. You know, all this stuff happened out here already, and it was because of Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks.
You know what I'm saying? She
a lot of other civil rights movements.
Yeah, but she decided to step out that norm and say, you know what? Hey, I'm one person, but hey, I'm going to change something, and I ain't going to the back.
You know what I'm saying? We're not going to the back. But they say the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. You You feel me?
Bars.
So it don't matter what place you put us in, as long as we in a place, man. Trying to move without a case, man. You know, but
Just to get a little taste, man.
you know, just a little taste, man.
Taste.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. The pie is big enough for us all. Everybody just want a slice.
Yeah.
A little piece of the pie.
You feel me?
Little piece of
You
the
know
pie.
what I'm saying? Nonetheless, many states, particularly in the South, they use poll taxes, literary tests, and other measures to keep African American citizens and organizations exceptionally disenfranchised. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted to belittle you. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to make you sure, hey, you don't know enough about this, and if you do know enough, are you paying your way? You know what I'm saying? They wanted to make it seem like you wasn't good enough to live the American dream.
And what's that? What's the American dream? Because I see the American
Ghetto
dream,
Schalar,
but
pull up the American
how
dream.
many people actually achieve the American dream, though? How many people?
Well, you know, the American dream, you know, what I was taught, or what I've seen and what people have said before is that you're an immigrant, you know what I'm saying? So you come from another country, you come into here, and you're going to make something good at yourself. You know what I'm saying? You had Irish, you had the Dutch, you had, you know, Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Puerto Ricans, Dominicans.
Yeah, Africans
you know
too
what I'm
as
saying?
well.
Africans,
Yeah.
Jamaicans, Haitians.
All the
you know,
Caribbean.
Mexicans.
Melting pot.
Even the Chinese. And, I mean, shout out to all the different races that's here in America. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shout out to each one of y'all out there. God bless y'all. Welcome to the show. We on a hot topic right now.
Man, it's beautiful. And it's beautiful. And just to kind of finalize the summary, because y'all know a lot about all of the activists and everybody that's going around. And we're going to jump into a few little other topics, but I just wanted to, because everybody know Martin Luther King had a dream, right? This is what the teachers is going to teach you. You know, they're going to teach you. Martin Luther, he was a powerful leader. He was a reverend. He was a family man.
That charisma.
You know, he had it all, and he could make a movement. He knew how to get with the Hispanics, get with the white people, get with the Asians, and let's make this movement because we need to fight for rights for all of us. You know what I'm saying?
It's the like-minded people, man. You got to get the like-minded people to come and, hey, let's start the movement.
Got to start the
You
movement.
know what I mean? Colmenero Bros, too. We had to start the movement. That's what it was.
And we bridging the gap with this thing, too. You know what I'm saying? We're not leaving nobody out. You know what I'm
We
saying?
rubbing elbows with everyone, man.
Everyone.
We are non-biased here. We're gonna talk about what y'all want to talk about, and this is what we on, man. We're gonna teach y'all.
We just want y'all to accept the words that's coming from us, you know, because we come a little bit differently than what you are used to. You know, but we can do that too. You know what I'm saying? But like, why not? Why not be about some substance?
Blackfish, yeah, hey, we're gonna be comedic and everything, man. But if you're not being taught this, you know, you're gonna let things and lose your own history, your own background.
That's right.
You know, you can take a DNA test. You know what I'm saying?
Ancestry.com.
Ancestry.com, and they're gonna give you a little bit about what it is. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, you know what? Who are you really? And if you ain't being taught and you ain't really looking, that's why everyone's in the phone and they ain't even really understanding how hard it was to come out. Now it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy now, but look at who struggled to get here, to get you up out of to have that American dream.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
And that's what it's about. So that's why we giving praise to God first. You know what I'm saying? But we also giving an acknowledgement to all our ancestors that came before us to make this opportunity a platform. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate everybody that's rocking with us. You know what I'm saying? It's 4-1 for Life Creative Entertainment, Colmenero Bros. We been in the building. We got the Ghetto Schalar over here with us. Like, this is real. You know what I'm saying? This is real.
Real deal,
you know
Holyfield, baby.
So I just want to leave just this, you know, y'all do the rest of the research when you get home because we're going to break into these topics. But I want you to understand that Martin Luther King had his dream, right? But at the end of his journey, Martin Luther King's last speech says, "We have fought hard and long for integration, as I believe we should have, and I know that we will win. But I've come to believe that we are integrating into a burning house." What do y'all take on that?
Man, for
That's
me,
deep.
that goes real deep, man.
We should do integration. We need to integrate with everything. But I see now what we led ourselves into is a burning house.
It's like you're destroying yourself with American Dream Society, with the standards. Like you came out of it, but now you sitting here like destroying yourself with what they have out there. You know what they're trying to like feed you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you came out, you worked so hard, you were already struggling. You know what I'm saying? And you came out, and then boom, it's like now what do? You know what I'm saying? Oh, now you falling out of place. Some people get, drink, smoke, addictions and stuff like that. And it's like, man, it was put out here like, to poison us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you saved your whole background and everything, but you still destroying yourself with that American dream. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does make sense because now you falling into the trap of thinking like, this is what I should be doing, the American dream, this whole opportunity. Now I can go outside of my people and be more of an independent instead of being more about my family and community.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's deep. That's deep, man. Like, how y'all bringing it to me today, man, on this podcast, like, I ain't really thought like that. You know what I'm saying? This is raw. This is uncut, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is raw, uncut feelings as far as, like, just the American dream and how it's kind of a smoke screen for you to think, this is the way to get out where you need to get out. But really and truly, you going down the path that the powers that be are putting you on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you become disillusioned of what's actually pushing things forward. You know what I'm saying?
That's why jails are full right now with the minority, man, because it's like you came out of it, but in order to achieve that American dream, what do you turn to? If you ain't making the money, then you go out, you start slanging, then now you're back into like, oh, now you're behind bars.
Man,
right.
You know what I mean?
There's so many versions of American Dream, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody.
Because you got the American gangster, you know what I'm saying, as an American dream for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Or you can be the rapper, you know what I'm saying? That's American dream for most, you know what I mean?
Ball player,
you know what I'm saying? Being on TV, actors and all that, but it's like when you see your people, you know what I'm saying, as, that's what you see on TV. So if that's what you're actually seeing as kids, you growing up and you just believing, like, man, like if I can just be a rapper or if I can just be
But if
a
you
ball
can't
player,
rap and bounce a ball, it's like, or play some music, then what can you really do? Like
What can you do?
Well, you turn into the postman, which there ain't nothing wrong with it. But are you really being successful and getting that American dream? Because it's only like 1% millionaires and like making at least that money that you do. But when you have like a minority like us, and it's hard enough for us to find our own identity in a place where we're not the ones that, were taken from our place. You know what I'm saying? We were brought over or we were here and it was, taken away, right? And when that was taken away, now your identity is like, well, you could get in trouble for something and now you're in prison. And then it's like, well, damn, it's because of trying to get the American dream. You know what I'm saying? And it's like poison. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you can't do that, it's honest living, working, yes. But once you're trying to get to the next meal, you could only make so much. And then if you have kids, and hey, minorities be having some kids, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, we be having some kids, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
like, we have kids, and, it's like you want to take care of your kids. I wish I could take my kids to Disneyland. You know what I'm saying?
What up, G?
so there's definitely some gatekeepers. There's definitely some gatekeepers in the community, you know what I'm saying, to where they trying to tell you, okay, well, you got to go through this person in order to go to the next level. You got to go through this person to go to this level. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate because there's not too many gatekeepers in our community that could actually do that for us. You know what I'm saying? Put us in position to be successhey.
That's why we on this Colmenero Bros, man, podcast show with the 4-1 for Life Creative Entertainment. This is what we're doing, man. We coming back with the community. We want to be about the community. We want to connect with y'all. We want to bring y'all stories to life. Y'all have a bunch of stories, and when it comes to stuff like this, how is you going to change the narrative on your future if you can't even look into your past.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't change the narrative without knowing something about who you are.
Real talk. Real talk. I mean, you telling it just how you're supposed to tell it, because in order for you to understand, like you said, the past, you got to see where you at right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, where you at right now, where it's going to take you in the future, and pay attention to those type of movements. You know what I'm saying? Because if you steady hitting on the past, like, oh, man, this and that, you know what I'm saying? I've been in this situation, because a lot of us are in that situation. You know what I mean? Because that's how the society has put us in those predicaments, so that we have to come out.
Man, and then if you look at it too, man, voting is important, man. You could sit there and say that you don't want to vote, but like I said, look at that now. Felons, you can't even be a felon and vote. That takes a voice out of yourself, and you're going to stay back because all you did was just give what society's norms gave you.
Yeah.
You didn't really look into yourself, your past, to look into your future. You know what I'm saying? We can't predict the future, but we can understand if you're going to make something of yourself to look forward to that. But if you ain't out there voting, man, it's important that you vote. You know, whatever team y'all on, it's y'all's team. That's y'all's team. Yeah. You know, I'm going to vote for mine, but we all got to kind of we have to come together with agreements of saying, hey, man, what are we going to do to fix society's norms? Yeah. Because society's norms is holding us back. Hey, man, I make a decent amount of money, but it ain't enough to just survive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you get into some trouble, man. Or, you know, I have my own past, and minorities, not everyone. Hey, man, like I said, look into the jail population. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, pull that up, Ghetto Schalar. But that you believe what I'm saying, man? It's like you got to know about that past, bro, in order for you to know who you are, to find out who you is, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's Black History Tip today. We sharing all of this, man. We sharing our experiences.
And it's crazy, man, because, hey,
and it's a whole vibe.
We got to
you know
do this thing, man. We got to come together and understand each other.
ColmeneroBros.com. Y'all know what's up, man. Just check the bio, man.
Everyone wants to look at each other, man, and think that they're different. We all bleed the same. But in order for you to do something, y'all need to come out of that society's norm. And you got to start looking into who you are as a person in order for you to be successful for your future. You start a business, minority-owned business, black-owned business. We a black and brown organization, man. Yeah. And we're going to show the world. We're going to shake the world. We're going to be on the top of the steps. Yep. We're already sitting down with Abbott, man, but let's get back in the topic.
Yeah, just be real quick before that. Just we talking about the U.S. population for the prisons. You know what I mean? There's 71%.
71%.
71% of all federal inmates are either African American or Latino descent.
71%, man. You're telling me, bro, that's a lot.
71%.
71%.
And that's on the
right now.
You know, we already know that like the Latin community is already about to pass majority, you know, coming up in like 2030 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so, and you think about that in the 60s or the 80s and the 90s, that's what we're looking at. 71% of all jail population is either African American or Latino descent. That's 37.6 for African Americans and 33.8 for Latino. And we don't even make up 50% of the population. How is that?
Hey, because it's a business,
hey,
man.
It's a big business. You invest into that jail, man, you're going to be a billionaire because everybody gets in trouble at some point, and if you don't, hey, good for you. All I know is I could be one of them boys in there because of what I've already seen coming up, because there are good cops out there. Some are bad. I've been racially profiled coming home late at night, and it's like, hey, man, like all I did was be brown and drive a old school Cutlass 2-door. You know what I'm saying? And I'm coming back from hooping, and you going to tell me just because I'm in this neighborhood, well, if that's where I live, how am I going to get home without being stopped?
Right.
Come on, bro. Yeah.
Hey, man, hey, I can count as many. Hey, when I first started driving, bro, it was like they was on me for some reason. I was like, my car ain't even clean, bro.
Hey, but you was speeding, dog.
I'm like, my car ain't even clean, bro, but you just on me. What's up?
Yeah.
Can I drive? You know what I'm saying? Can I make it out here? Can I make it and shake it? You know, like it's real. You know, but man, Black History Month is what we doing is we just highlighting Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? We gonna highlight Mexican American Month. You know what I'm saying? Any of the days going around, all of our people, we want to show love, we want to show insight, man. Hey, what up, Crook? You know what I'm saying? What up, Shipley? What up, G Dollar?
Appreciate
You know
y'all
what
coming
I'm
in the
saying?
show
Is that
out
Rick
here.
on here too,
What's
man?
up,
What's
y'all?
up, big homie? You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
appreciate
You need to come
y'all
check
getting
on
on
the
the live.
pod. What up,
Getting on the
Nicole?
live.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all,
Hey, y'all
please
go share this
You know
with
what I'm
y'all
saying?
people. We talking real topics here, man. We're trying to show the love to
We
the
trying to
world
show
out
love.
here. And hey, well, man, hey, all I can say is this is a good topic, bro, and this is something that needs to be heard, man. And if you don't even know, man, this whole thing coming together like this is really truly could be game changing the world, bro.
It is.
You know, it just has to. I had that vibe, man, and it's like, hey, I love this type of stuff, man. And we are gonna get out there. We'll highlight the Asian American culture, man. We'll have, hey, man, Peanut, we gonna come for you next, man. You gonna come out here and you gonna bless us with what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
with the game and how Asian Americans, because hey, man, it's like we came
shout out.
over all minorities, man, and it's like, how come everyone else had to be the slaves though? You know,
Exactly, because they knew that, hey, it
Different.
was
You
cheap
can-
labor.
you can point, you can pinpoint, because everything started out with indentured servants. You know what I'm saying? Back in the 1700s, like there was indentured service, and so that was already a norm in British America. You know what I'm saying? Great Britain. So they was already got that going on. So it was kind of like they brought that mentality here at the in Americas. You know, the early 13 colonies. And
Yeah.
so when they started seeing like, okay, it's kind of hard to differentiate.
Y'all like and share, man.
It's hard to differentiate between people that are
got
actually
any
free
questions? Y'all
and
got anything
indentured
to
service, because it wasn't just blacks that was indentured service. It was like Irish, they had Spanish, they had Portuguese. They'll bring over those individuals over to do in servitude because whatever crimes that they had going on. So they'll bring them over here to do that work, and they can eventually become free through the indentured servancy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They gave them like a time period to where it's like, okay, you do this for 5, 6, 10 years, boom, you'll be free after that.
it's like working for credit.
Yeah. Because you did something wrong. So it had some type of understanding, like, okay, we understand that because you did something wrong. You committed a crime. But then I just think that the Americans got really greedy when it came to understand, like, okay, well, now I can just separate
What up,
and
Vincent?
pinpoint
What up, Mike? What's up, bro?
Negroes or a particular race
Londa, what's
to say,
up?
oh, they are the slave group, so that we can go ahead and do this,
Black
and then we
History
can go ahead and
podcast,
knock
y'all.
out all that what we got to give you,
Talking
and we
about
just
all
gonna go
the
ahead and keep it going.
minorities, what black people
Hey,
have
and
to
that
go
is
through.
true, is because
Appreciate y'all, though.
the American
Check this
dream
out.
is about the money, bro. It's about the money, and when you come in and you're with your people, what else can you do? You got to come together somehow, man. And this is what we do over here at 4 Live Creative Entertainment. We bringing everyone together. It's all love out here.
So what we finna dive into now, though, is since we kind of got the little back history and everything, we got the back history of everything that's going on, like slavery, integration, civil rights, integration, all of that. Now let's talk about some people that you might highlight in your life, you know what I'm saying, that you seen on the sports aspect, on the arts, foods, and culture, inventors, any of that type stuff like that. Hey, Londa, yeah, so let's dive into the first one, you know what I'm saying? The arts and culture, you know what I'm saying? Who you think got you right, Marco?
Okay, so I remember when you brought this to me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a great idea because I felt like we can break it down, you know what I'm saying, different pockets, you know what I'm saying? So this first pocket is called Arts, Foods, and Culture, you know what I'm saying? The person that I wanted to talk about that was real inspirational to me, you know what I'm saying, in this subsection is Malcolm X.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Give a shout out to Malcolm X and everything
Shout out
that's
Malcolm
going on.
X.
You know what I'm saying? Brother Malcolm.
Brother Malcolm.
Yeah, and so that to me he was so legendary, you know what I mean? And I didn't really come on to him because I wasn't taught like that in school. You know what I'm saying? As far as an individual to idolize or someone to look up to or even think about, like, we're gonna put him out there, let you guys know about him. You know what I'm saying? I was being Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? I was actually Martin Luther King in one of my elementary plays.
I think we was all Martin Luther King.
I think we all Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? So Black History Month has always been like that was a center point, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when I actually got to the point where I actually knew Malcolm X,
All right.
it was kind of through that Denzel Washington movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When Denzel Washington came out there and did Malcolm X, the first thing I saw that movie, the length of it was like 3 hours. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, you should know it's your movie, bro.
I was like,
Yeah.
Denzel,
We got Denzel Wingwood. It's Denzel
Denzel
Wingwood.
Wingwood.
Denzel Wingwood. What's
I was
up,
like,
mama?
you should know, bro. You were on.
Nah.
but yeah,
What's up,
it was like 3 hours long. I was like, man, that's a long movie. So I finally got to a point where, like, man, when I got grown, you know, after I graduated from high school, you know, going to school, you know what I'm saying, I already got the shout out to HT, you know what I'm saying, Houston-Tillotson College,
Right.
you know what I'm saying,
Houston-Tillotson.
it turned into Houston-Tillotson University, you know, around the time I graduated, you know what I mean. So as everybody know, that's a historically black college, you know what I'm saying. So I got my degree there, you know what I mean. And so when I was in that period, I was just really trying to find what more I know about my culture. And so Malcolm X became that individual. You know what I mean? And so the reason why he stuck with me as far as like Malcolm X, you know, Medgar Evers, and, you know, all the different speakers, you know, Fred Hampton and all the revolutionaries at the time, Jesse Jackson and all that, you know, he stuck with me because of how he carried himself as a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily his beliefs as far as Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely part of Nation of Islam. There's a whole story about him becoming involved in that. I'm definitely going to talk about that. But I just wanted to let you preamble to that is that
What up, family?
him carrying himself as an individual that's dedicated to his belief. You know what I'm saying? He was strong-hearted. You know what I'm saying? He believed in the truth. He believed in doing things the right way. You know what I mean? And when he came to his family, he married his wife. You know what I'm saying? It was always between the time he married her and, of course, till he was assassinated, he was with her. And he had all his kids by her. You know what I'm saying? 4 daughters.
Yeah, so he was a good example for not just his family, but the community as well.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Malcolm was a stand-up man.
Yeah, to me, it was an example of a black man being proud of who you are,
Yeah.
and representing what you believe in and being able to stand for it. You know what I mean? In the tens of times, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to stand up. He was fearless. You know what I'm saying? His attitude towards life was like, this is what I believe in.
By any means necessary.
By
And
any
not
means
only
necessary.
that, he was more like of that person who's gonna get out there and be like, "Hey, we gotta get that force on you. We gonna get in there." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he preached.
And Martin Luther King was kind of like the opposite. He kind of
Yeah.
was like, "Hey,
Non-violence.
ain't no violence, man. We
Chilling.
can't do it." But you have to have
Both.
sides
You
in
got
order
to.
to change
The
you know
world.
what you want.
You got
know what
to.
I'm saying? You got to, because you can't just be like you just can't be like one-sided on it. You know, you
Yeah,
have to have violence and you have to have peace.
You got
You know
to.
what I'm saying? You have to.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean that boy just he but the glass on that boy because it was so groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have that type of thing going on. You do. You know, because when someone is so stubborn-hearted to where they believe in what they believe in, and you trying to say, "Oh, I'm gonna be nonviolent. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do what I want."
Yeah, a lot of people is ready to jump up and make something happen, right?
You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna just be a ruckus, but I'm not gonna actually make no actual moves or be like, okay, if you actually provide violence to me, you know, I'm not gonna do violence with you. You know what I mean? Like that was that eye for eye. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really believe in that part. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to believe what you're doing is important. You know what I mean? You got to put in legislations. You got to do everything as far as what the rules are going with. You know what I mean? To make things work. You know what I'm saying? That's why Malcolm X was really important to me because he was willing to actually put the work in and actually try to get the message out so everyone can understand this is what we need to do as a people. Just as individuals, we need to hold ourselves more accountable of what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And not blame someone else or depend on someone else to get that done for you. You have to be the one who goes out and do that.
Yeah, so we had a question. So we had a question come in that says, "Do you all think that since those days of Malcolm and Dr. Martin Luther King has made somewhat of a difference today in how the actions that they did back then?" So yes, I think so because it gives us an opportunity of doing what we do now. First of all, it was freedom of speech. We all have an opportunity to vote as well. So that's like they can't silence our vote. And what we doing with the Colmenero Bros and this podcast is giving us an opportunity to express how we feel on different topics that we feel need to be talked about. Because in life, and you know, Mom, we talk about it all the time. Like, hey, they gonna silence the people through the education. They gonna dumb us down to where we only know just a little bit. People ain't reading the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So they don't even want to get that knowledge from the word.
People hardly even reading anyway. You know what I'm saying? People, hey, I ain't lying. When's the last time anyone here has picked up a book?
Yeah.
Bro? I picked up a book the other day, bro.
Yeah.
Machiavelli, dog.
Machiavelli.
You know what I'm saying? And it's, hey, if you have to learn in order for you to have that, that's why it was important
share this
with
folks,
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. It was important for them to have that type of charisma, that type of aura to attract people, because without that, how were they going to change anyone's lives? And then you had to have the violence with the peace in order, because if you only have peace, you're only going to be like, everyone's going to be like, oh,
they're gonna
we ain't
look over
taking you seriously.
Yeah, they're going to look over you.
You know, and if you got the violence only, then it's like, oh man, they just going to come. Like Black Panthers, they were organizations, bro, that were like, okay, we're here, we're militant, but then what happened? They got infiltrated, and then they destroyed them because on the inside. They got infiltrated because somebody else was greedier. Instead of just sitting there trying to help your people, you really wanted more than what you were doing. Colmenero Bros, this ain't what we about out here. We talking about, hey, you got a voice, man, and because of Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, Malcolm X, this is why we have all of this available. Those people that came with the struggle out there are the ones that paved the way, because they had it hard. We got it easy.
Yeah, they definitely paved the way.
We got it easy, but we got a responsibility.
And we got a
too.
responsibility to preach about it. You know what I'm saying?
And as an in-between gap between, you know, the 1960s, that group of individuals in the 60s, you know, I'm an 80s baby, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to put it out there, you know what I'm saying? So when I came up in the 90s, you know, things that was coming out of that, we can always attribute it back to the Black Panthers, back to the black movement of the civil rights, you know, because the gangs was really going on. But as we already know, as far as the Crips, you know what I'm saying, that was one of those offshoots from the Black Panthers. And so it started out as a movement to try to protect the neighborhoods, you know, because of the police brutality.
Yeah, that's the way it was in like New York when it came to the Italians. Italians took care of their Italians. Blacks, Mexicans, they all took care, you know, of their culture, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey, you needed that, because if you didn't have it, what were you going to turn to for those resources?
For that protection, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
that's kind of like what Malcolm X was preaching as far as protecting. We have to be able to protect our families, protect our women, protect our children, and protect our own thoughts of mind, our freedom of thought. And so as an intelligent group of people, we have to be able to protect that. And so that's where the violence came on, because if you're going to create violence, or you're going to not actually provide that for us, it's not like we're being violent. No, we're just making the stands to make sure that it gets done. And so we're going to protect ourselves from any kind of violence. You know what I mean? And so that was the teaching that they was talking about, is that it's not about we're going to go out there and shoot people up. No, we're going to protect ourselves as though if violence. We're not going to turn the other cheek, as in some cases where people talk about, well, you just turn the other cheek and just do that. No, because at the end of the day, they won't respect you unless you protect your people. You know what I mean? And I felt like that's what Malcolm X was preaching to everyone. It's like, we just got to protect our own, so that if anything, any malice or any wrongdoing, injustice are being served out there, we need to go out there and stand for that, so that it don't happen no more.
What you think about that movie,
which one?
One Night in Miami?
Oh, that was all of it.
That's when they met up with Sonny Liston and Sam Cooke and Jim Brown. You know
I seen that, man. I seen that movie.
You know, and he goes there, and I believe it's like Malcolm X is literally like saying like how they cater to the white people. You know what I'm talking about? Something like that. I'm saying like that basically in the party dash, you know what I'm saying, they all met up, you know, to talk about, you know, it was Sonny Liston and Cassius Clay, you know, it was a title bout. They all came together, and he was saying like, hey man, you know, we're trying to change, because y'all are the ones that need to be talking with me. You can't just sit here and just be pampering to them. You know what I'm saying? You have a voice and you can get us out of here with me. You know what I'm saying? You got to rock with me in order for us to be able to come out and change more and more people's lives. You know what I'm saying?
He was willing to reach out. You know
He
what I'm saying? Reach out to other people.
To the biggest ones that were out there to come out and say, hey, I need your help in order for us to get these changes for our people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And all venues, because he understood media. You know what I'm saying? We guys are doing the podcast right now. This is what media is about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to be able to get the message out. You know what I'm saying? This is another way, of media to get the message out of what your narrative. And the narrative that's being put out right now, it's not true to what's going on in America.
Yeah.
It's not true. There's a lot of Americans out here that actually live good, wholesome lives. You know what I'm saying? They actually protect their families, protect their children. You know what I mean? They actually try to instill good values into their children, moral values, education as being a priority. Those are the people that we need to see those in media. And that's why I feel like that's what Colmenero Bros is going to be able to provide. And those that are actually on that same level.
Man, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Ghetto Schalar.
So what's being said too is saying many women is now many women in the now families are raising our black boys and girls in the home while most of our young black men are in jail. So this is pretty much the same type of slavery tactic that's done. It's to take the male out of the household, just so that the woman can possibly be dependent on the system. We got some strong independent women that's saying, hey, I ain't never trying to get on food stamps and Medicaid. But then we got some that's running right to them like that stepdaddy. Or that side man. Hey, that's the side man. You know what I'm saying? He gonna cut me a check.
But that's what it's held to, that's what it's made to do, is to say, hey, you have somebody who's strong, and now we take them out the house, then how's a house going to stand divided?
It can't.
You know what I'm saying? You can't,
especially with divided.
And that's what we're going to lobby for in the future one day, man. We're going to change people's lives. We're going to change the game. We're going to be those activists coming in, knocking on the door. Because you know that Tupac, when he said we were outside, we were knocking on the door saying, let me in. Mm-hmm. And he said, now I had to come through your back door and pick the lock and try to get in.
Just to make it in,
you know what I'm saying? And that's why we kicking in these bricks back here. You know what I'm saying? We opening doors, man.
Yeah.
We opening doors. We knocking. So if you ain't got it for us, man, we gonna come for it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I like. That's what I like about the Colmenero Bros, man. We all fathers here, you know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of what, this whole thing is about. I put a challenge out there for you guys, you know what I'm saying? Is that as a father,
how you doing, brother?
You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're a father to your kids. Don't go out there for the youngsters. Don't go out there and create life. Right. You know what I'm saying? And not understanding the responsibility. Anything that you're doing that's sitting here making that possibility of being fatherhood, you need to understand the seriousness of it. You know what I'm saying? Fatherhood is serious.
And not only that, you take responsibility for any and all actions, man. Man up and take that responsibility and keep going. And, hey, there ain't nothing wrong to seek for help, man. We're going to be out there at Bexar County with them boys out there with the organization called Vatos, man. And we're going to be out there tomorrow sitting down with Governor Abbott, so we can get this message out to him, so we could come out and tell y'all stories to help keep your history and your self-identity instead of being somebody who you ain't. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Or what they want you to be.
And that's what our ancestors did for us. They helped us be able to put ourselves in position to where we can make something happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So try to make something happen, because ain't nothing happening out here but the same old thing. So with your opportunity and what you got going on, it's time to make a change. So with this arts and craft and culture and stuff like that, we also, Rem, you was talking about what on here? You got some food that you like,
man,
what's up? Talk about that.
You want to talk about some food?
Yeah, I do want to talk about some food, brother, because, hey, like I said, we touching on Black History Month.
Okay.
And when we're talking about this, man, what brings me into light about this is like, saying like, hey, back in the day, rest her soul, Miss B, man. And collard, if you don't know, is a loose leaf species of like, greens, man. It's like lettuce type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Collard greens.
Hey, collard greens, bro. Her name was Miss B, bro. And I swear, I met her, man. She was the nicest old lady, man, and she was nice. And she would watch my kids come home from school. You know what I'm saying? When they would walk home, and it'd be like, one day she's like, "Baby, you ever had some collard greens?" I was like, "Yeah, I believe so in the past." You know what I'm saying? And hey, man, she was from Louisiana, bro. And like when I tasted that, bro, I had her almost damn near every other week. Hey, you mind making some collard greens? She put some bacon. She put some bacon in it, bro. Just thinking about it right now, has my mouth just like, hey, bro, hey, I want, hey, if she was still alive, bro, God rest her soul, Miss B. Hey, this is why I'm talking about it for you, man, because you were the one that put me on these collard greens that were the best, and I was like, bro, with some catfishes, hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Say, Loretta, man, my wife can cook some mean collard greens, bro.
See,
so you can always get put back on, you know what I'm saying? Because she definitely go with the hog maws and the salt bacon, you know what I'm saying? It's just delicious, and her uncle also do collard greens, so she learned from him or got her own taste to it because that's just how she is. She's like a chef on a coup, you know what I mean? She's one of those ghetto chefs, you know what I'm saying? I'm the Ghetto Schalar, she's the ghetto chef, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, man, she's really good, especially my grandma, she did turnips. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She did mustards.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mustard greens, turnip greens.
You name it.
You name it. But a lot of that food that we had cherished and we made golden right now, those was like the scraps, man. You know what I'm saying? We were throwing the scraps back in the Gap and had to make it a delicacy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all like chitlins out there. Look at them. You know,
hey,
a lot of them like
baby,
a lot of them like menudo.
It's like
menudo.
That. It's
what's that pig
tripe.
intestine?
It's a tripe, man. But but I do like some chili. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Yeah, we go down on some.
They would call them 3-bus, dog. And what we do, we put them into like a. They call it like a sartén, and then it's like, bro, we clean them up, rinse them out, and then fry them up with a little bit like garlic and some onion, bro.
Yeah, I like chicharrones, though. I like chicharrones.
That's good. Hey, man, chicharrones too, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
A little bit of spice in them, and you make your own, bro. You make your own, man. You be in heaven, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we had to invent a lot of things in life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things in life that made us have to find our own, you know what I'm saying? And as we started to find our own and started discovering that, hey, we're more than what they made us seem like. We're not dumb individuals. We're not people that don't have an education. We're not ones that don't really know who we are. And if we don't know who we are, we're finna remake and reestablish who we are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We want to thank everybody that's tapping in with us on the live. You know what I'm saying? It's Black History Month. We going through it. Colmenero Bros. Tap in. Y'all know the link is in the bio. Yeah. 414 Life for Rizil. You know? And hey, so what we saying is like so who was a great musical influencer in your life that you grew up listening to and maybe mama put you on and you was riding with pops or whatever? Mm-hmm. What was something that you put a little bit of soul in your life, sprinkled a little bit of soul in?
Man, when it comes to the music, man, like that, bro, it's gonna have to be the Temptations, bro.
The Temptations.
The Temptations. Each day by my window, I watch her as she passes by. And I know y'all know that. I say, hey, bro, and I be cruising with my.
Have a girl like her.
Yeah, hey, and to have a girl like her, bro. And I could say, man, it's too many for me to even count on my hands, bro. Sammy Davis Jr., man, like, hey, man, Sam Cooke, man, I like, hey, all kinds of people, man. You know what I'm saying? So there's, hey.
Nah, man, we got a whole love them. Like what about you, Marco? What's going on?
Oh, the music, man. Hey, I really love music coming up. As hip hop has always been my thing, you know what I'm saying, coming up. And so my first, like when you said Temptation, like I don't really hear too much Temptations coming up. You know, we didn't really, my grandma didn't play too much music per se. It's like she had Mahalia Jackson going on. You know what I'm saying? That's about as much And then, you know, my grandpa, he was really big on Johnny Taylor, you know what I mean, Al Green, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, some
And
Al Green, bro.
Yeah. So
Hey,
they was playing
smooth.
on that, you know. But when I actually got into music, when I was like actually started listening to it, because I think that's when you like a teenager, when you really start getting into music, you know what I'm saying? So this is 1995 for me, you know what I'm saying? 95, 98, when I really started getting into music, and that's when old boy Tupac and Biggie was going out with that. But I had to just evolve from that, you know what I'm saying, to where it's like right now, my favorite music person right now is D1.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys heard of him. He's a Christian hip hop artist right now. He's from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? He represent that area as far as bringing out his music, and he always started that way. You know what I mean? So it wasn't something like he was reborn or.
Shout out D1.
Yeah, shout out to that boy D1. You know what I'm saying? He's to me, I can just put him in a small little knot right here. Is that this boy made it from the hood to Harvard? You know what I'm saying? This boy made it to the hood to the Harvard.
That's a real American dream right there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, to be that actual literal and lyrical at the same time, to where he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and do what I gotta do and get my degree out of Harvard University. At the same time, he went to LSU. Starting out, he was a ball player. You know, he had those ordinary dreams of everybody trying to be a ball player. But it's like at a certain situation in his life came about where he was stuck out at a basketball court. You know what I mean? He had already lost his wife. I mean, his girl at the time, because he's not married right now. But he was basically planning on getting with her because that was his high school sweetheart. And so they went to the same college at the high school together, because he basically followed her. You know what I'm saying, to college. So that's where he was at Louisiana State University. And so at Louisiana State University, that's when he was just out there just doing some pickup game, because he was actually trying to walk on Louisiana State University, or unable to do it, trying to follow behind this female at the same time that he really loved. He cared about it. But at the same time, that lady broke his heart. You know what I'm saying?
That lady broke his heart.
That lady broke his heart. She ended up sleeping off with him with a football player.
Oh, man.
Football player.
Made him
You know
want to
what I'm
switch it
saying?
up.
Cheating, boy.
So
That's cheating, boy.
we got a question that came in since you said that. It says, what is your thoughts at what?
What is that?
Who is that, bro? It says, what is your thoughts and why most people outside of black race is so inferior to the African American race? What is your thoughts as to why most people outside of the black race is so inferior to the African American race?
Whoa, you talking about inferior versus
Superior or
Superior.
inferior? I really don't feel that it's that.
Nah, I mean, when you talking about inferior versus superior, you know, you basically are saying that, you know, one race is better than the other.
Yeah, and that's not what we doing now.
Yeah, that's not
like
what
the
we doing.
Colmenero Bros, what we do is we come in here to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
If you got any little speck of melanin in you and it look like you're turning brown a little bit, that mean you down. Our white people out here too. We got some white friends. We grew up with a white partner.
Oh, man.
Eric
Hey,
Maslowski.
Eric Maslowski,
Wherever
man.
you at, bro,
Yeah.
you
God
been a
bless
real
you,
one.
man.
You been a real one.
Yeah, and what's crazy, that's one thing that my pops came at us with one day. He talked to Maestro. He was sitting there. He was like, man, I never really thought I'd ever see the day when I would see a white kid, Mexican-American kid, and African-American kid all come together as one, and literally
No
we were
cap.
hooping,
No cap.
playing baseball, and
No
then we
cap.
met the old school Rick, man, and it was like our neighborhood was just accepting right there in the
Flourishing.
Colmenero in the circle, bro.
Yeah.
I stayed up the top, you know, in the street.
What up, Twilight?
You know what I'm saying? I stayed on the corner. Row was right in the middle, and then we had Eric all the way down the street, and he was really the one that had everything, bro. He had like the first everything, but it was
Yeah.
like we were all.
And he showed us a little
Yeah.
bit more of the good life. You know, our
Yeah,
parents were
bro.
still struggling.
Yeah, bro.
But he actually was
He
like,
had all
come
the
in.
games, man.
Come check
all
it
the
out.
games, bro. And
Yeah.
he was really accepting it. Even his parents, bro, accepted us. You know what I'm saying? And that was a taste right there of that, bro.
That was.
You know?
So when we still talk about music, though, I don't want to overlook James Brown. That's one of my, like, when I think about black history, I can't think about black history without thinking about James Brown. James Brown was the king of soul. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson looked at him like the grandfather, you know, or the godfather.
Yeah.
This man, please.
The Godfather of Soul.
Please. I swear he had one of the coldest begging songs to a woman. Please. And he just kept saying, please. But, bro, you should see him as he moved. He was the ultimate entertainer. We look at Chris Brown, Usher, all of these cats. They don't be sweating out there. That boy,
Hey, I like that song. Try
me. You know what I'm saying?
Try me. Hey, bro.
But he also had a song called, hey, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the movement songs that had people out here like, hey, I'm going to walk with Dr. King, or I'm going to walk with Malcolm X. I'm going to walk with some of our lady organizations and everything too. I'm moving, so I can't get all of the names. Just Angela Davis.
You know
what I'm saying? They had a lot of them moving together in this organization trying to like fight for the people, civil rights and everything, man. And you can't overlook Marvin Gaye at the same time. Marvin Gaye was one of the smoothest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Marvin Gaye used to rock one of these. You feel me? Him and Stevie, you feel me? Yeah. Straight up, though. And most sample songs out there. Marvin Gaye is making way more money while he is gone than when he's living. Hopefully it's all going to him, though.
All to his generations, for his youngsters.
And then that's what basically, what the history and what you have actual individuals applying content to the world.
Unapologetically.
You know what I'm saying? Applying content. That's another a value that we have. Them boys, James Brown and Marvin Gaye, providing excellent content out there. So for us to actually listen to and feel what's going on in the culture. And so that's kind of like, I feel like in the music game these days, I really do feel like, we missing that. And I feel like, my dude D1 is trying to fill that void. He's trying to say we need to be more accountable for our actions and how we speak and use our platforms in a way that you're actually speaking to the people. You know what I'm saying? You want those people to get a real message instead of all that, glorifying murder music, you know what I'm saying? Killing each other, breaking each other down and all that. Like, we need to get away from that because basically if you got your kids listening to music, like I'm on my whole little soapbox with this because like with kids with music and everything like that, when they sit up there and just listen to free flowing music streaming, you know what I'm saying? We didn't grow up like that. You know
our music had a purpose,
But you had to pay for it though.
Yeah, you had to pay for it. Now it's like something to come through and tell you to do something crazy, and you just jam
and then
into
not
it.
only that,
it's like adult content
norm,
for kids.
It's the norm of saying, okay, now you're watching that, and it's put in the back of your mind to be like, I don't know if Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion would let their kids listen to what they're literally talking about in these songs when you're talking about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because then you got little girls running around saying, things that are inappropriate.
Hands
learning.
on your knees.
Yeah.
Hands on your knees.
Wop, wop, wop.
Yeah.
And I ain't knocking the songs, man, but I am saying, dog, like, that's what, okay, man, come on. You want your daughters walking around just, hey, I got that wop. Like, come on, bro.
Man, Sexy Red is an abomination. But all I'm saying is that, I can't really knock nobody on their hustle. But at the end of the day,
it's your hustle,
at the end of the day, it's like what you putting out there, your content, it can be adult content, you know what I'm saying? And so if your hustle is adult content, she already put herself out there on Instagram as X-rated. You know what I'm saying? I don't think kids that are not at that level where it has the little rating systems, that they should be listening to Sexy Red because it's adult content. You know what I mean? And so I think what went wrong with the streaming situation is a simple fact that it's all about, adult content, explicit lyrics and all that. It's all about that.
Yeah.
And so if you got teenagers growing up, preteens, and that's all that goes through their ears, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's feeding into their minds.
Yeah,
bro.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like a target that's coming out and they're saying, hey, that's another way to get you to go back into
stay woke.
Hey, it's another way to get you to stay behind, man. And
it's a delusion.
It's like you're there and you're trying to talk about what we're talking about, but it's like it's all destructive.
That's the modern slavery is to get your mind distracted off of what's really going on. You know what I mean? As far as the disenfranchisement of blacks, brown, the minorities. You know, they get you caught up in. They get you caught up in the TikTok. They get you caught up in, you know, posting videos and stuff like that, just so that you can think that I'm about to be an influencer, I'm about to be a star. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's damaging.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's damaging to our children, you know, to think that that's all they're going to do.
Yeah,
you know?
It is, man. But, you know, with Black History Month right now, and what I'm really loving about this is that we talking about issues, we talking about where we came from, and we talking about where we can go further. You know what I'm saying? Colmenero Bros is here to bridge the gap. We appreciate everybody who's been tapping in with us, all of the love, y'all are our family. You know, we want to thank everybody for what's going on. We're going to take a little break right now just so we, you know what I'm saying? If you do this podcast game, you know what's going on right now. But we're going to come back to y'all in a minute. We might go live again, but we still going to finish out the episode. You know, we are on YouTube as 41 For Life Creative Entertainment.
And y'all look out for that website coming soon. Appreciate little Josh, man. You helping us come out with everything as far as getting this website up and running, man. And it's, hey, we coming in, kicking doors, and that's what we doing.
You know what I'm saying? So we're going to catch up with y'all here in a minute. You know what I'm saying? We're going to finish up all this. We're going to take us a quick little break. You know what I'm saying? The slaves didn't get to take no breaks, so why should we be slaving?
Hey,
you feel
that's
me?
true, man.
Especially when we got something going on. We appreciate all the love. This is Maestro the Jedi. I got the Ghetto Schalar right here.
That's
You know
right,
what
Ghetto
I'm saying?
Schalar.
And then I got my brother over there, La Rora 512.
512. Y'all go to TikTok, add me at La Rora 512, man.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to holler back at y'all in just a minute, all right? Y'all stay tuned, man. Peace, blessings, and love.
Are you trying to slide? Come on. Won't you do right with me? Slide with me. Are you trying to slide? See, do you wanna ride? Are you trying to slide? Come on. Ride with me, babe. Slide with me. A king need a rider, queen rolling up as a driver. The feather to my wings and we go higher. It's a lot of things that I require as we aspire. You can't be great and not tired. But I promise after the journey is through, we'll be the worthiest two. Pulling off in the coupe with generational loot, the blueprint of this campaign. We gon' get it on our own and not asking for a damn thing. We not asking for a damn thing. We gon' get it by any means. Hey, this glow up, it's gonna hurt your eyes. We grinding every day with our eyes on the prize. Oh, help me say, won't you do right with me? Slide with me. Are you trying to slide? See, do you wanna ride? Are you trying to slide? Come on, ride with me, man.